Hello, my name is Suckit, and we are playing FTB Presents F.A.M. And the first thing we're doing today is we're going to make a good old-fashioned induction smelter from thermal. Really, the only new thing is the Invar gears. We have some Invar. We're going to use this to make some more, because we're going to need some Invar for what we're going to do today. Now, the main advantage of the induction smelter when it comes to alloys is that you do not first need to grind up the ingredients. That's one extra nickel. That's alright. And just throw it in here, and it'll cook it up for you. Now, last time we dragged our way through that nether castle and got some blaze rods. We're going to use them to make a couple of ender tanks. These hold about, I think, like 8 buckets, 16 buckets, something. Not that much, but they share an inventory. If these cloth strips on the top of them match, now we're going to want it to be not white. Like if we had it like this, just with these two matched, then these would share an inventory. 2 white, 1 orange. Now they don't. Now they do. Now they don't. Now they do. You get the general idea. Next thing I'm going to want to make, we're going to make 5 of these magmatic dynamos. These are like the Stirling dynamos that we made earlier in the series, except, well, there's enough for 3. What are we missing? Invar. We gotta cook it up. But instead of burning solid fuel, like coal and similar like these guys do, they will burn lava. Here it is. Go ahead and craft some more up. Now, of course, there is the matter of getting lava in here to use them to generate power for us. The mod we're going to use to move some lava around, gathered up for us, is ranged pumps. Ranged pumps adds 1 block, the pump. And there's a reason this mod has so many downloads. What it does, it will pick up a water source and replace it with a block of stone, so that you don't have a bunch of running water, a bunch of lava lagging up your world. Now, we chunk loaded some of our stuff already here. We're gonna shift click, right? Yeah, we're gonna force load these 4 chunks in our base here. I think we're still in them all the way in the corner. Yeah. Now we're going to take this stuff out to the nether. Now we're going to want a nice big lava pool. We're also going to want to not die. So let's see. Oh, we're going to pretty much be right down there, aren't we? Alright. Let's head out to the middle. So what we do, we're going to want our pump like right down here above the lava. And we're going to put 1 of these magmatic dynamos right on top of it, because the pump does need power. We're going to prime this thing so that it starts giving this thing some power. You can already see it's collecting lava. Alright, it's already running, already doing its thing. Now what we're going to do, you can see the stone there. It's placing this for us. We're going to run some pipe. Now we're going to take our configurator. And we're going to set this to output, although it looks like it was doing it already. And then we're going to pop our ender tank right on top. Now we're going to go back into the chunk claim manager. And we're going to force load just this chunk. It'll be fine. This will drain the lava in a very large radius and be of great help to us. Now don't worry if you don't see the lava in the tank. There is a visual glitch with these in this version, but it's in there. You can see it on the tooltip. Now what we're going to do is we are going to make rats. I keep doing that. The pick is so powerful that I can't even really right click. I can't left click with it at all. It'll just destroy. Alright, we got 2 there. We need to make some more of those doohickeys. We'll do 2 of these. We're going to enrich some redstone, which will give us 8 times the value when we use it for further processing here in the infuser. Throw that in there, you see we get 80 millibuckets of redstone instead of just 1 like we would with the powder. Once you got this, it just costs us a little bit of juice, and we can make our, what are they, advanced alloys or something? Infused alloys? Yeah, those things. We can make them much more efficiently. Now we're going to take all this stuff, and assuming I remember the recipe, we're going to make a basic fluid tank, an advanced fluid tank. We're going to grab our ender tank. And let's see here. We want to set these up so that they're kind of tileable. We're going to have pipes in the back. We're going to have this up here. Just do another pipe so that we can go up 1 more layer if we want to. And I think we can pump out of the sides of these things, but I'm not entirely convinced. Looks like it. There are a couple of versions of the ender tanks. Different mods have them, and some of them have different behaviors. This one, though, is pretty simple. It's just gonna, this is gonna keep filling up as the pump keeps pumping. Now there's some more. It's chunk loaded, so we don't have to be there for it to do it. These are going to produce energy, and we're going to send that energy right into our redstone fuck cell. Now by default, these boys produce 40 RF a tick. It's a good amount. We can improve it. We also, though, want to mitigate. These will burn even when everything's full. You will lose some lava. And while there's a lot of lava in the nether, we're not going to run out. I don't want to be going out there and moving the pump all the time. The nether's pretty dangerous. Let's see, we got efficiency, we got amplifiers. Those aren't the ones I'm looking for. Let's see, there is an augment that will mitigate that issue for us, and it's right here. Excitation field limiter. We just need electrum and lead nuggets. Alright. Here we go. And just like the other augments, you can either right click them in there, you can go into the GUI, put them in there manually. Now, this is more or less a set and forget, except for occasionally having to move the pump. We will have a complete set and forget later when we get into reactors and stuff. But what I do want to do, we've got a doubler in here, hardened integral components. I do want to store a lot more in the energy cell. And one way we can do that is with these RF coils. They increase the transfer and capacity by a factor of 4, and that multiplies with the integral components. We're going to want the times 6 capacity. It's just some gold, some redstone, and some silver. I think I brought enough out here for 2 for some reason. You know what? We could actually make 2. Well, I'll put this one in manually to kind of demonstrate. See, right now, it's got a max input and output of 2,000. If we took this out, it'd be 1,000, but we'd also lose this other million RF because it would only have a million storage. We throw this in here. Now there's another times 2, so this is times 4. Like the multipliers are sort of additive. And then times 2 and times 6, we should have a 12 million capacity. So that'll be a good amount of power for this stage of the game. Now another thing we can do, although we don't have anything that really uses a ton of power, is we can throw one of those in here and increase this thing's buffer to 3 million. Now we're also going to make more integral components. What else do we need? A little more redstone. That ought to do. These will, increase all the relevant aspects of our dynamos by times 2. We're also going to want to think about these. Now, the flux efficiency is probably the one I want to look at right away. We will need a way to make plates. Now, probably the best way for us to think about plates, at least right now, is with a multi-servo press. This will, by default, make plates. It can also make other things, but we will need a few more alloys. We might have some bronze lying around. I might have made some. I did. But we're also going to need some Constantan. We're going to need 8 total, and I believe that it's nickel and copper. Yeah, it's nickel and copper. So we can go ahead and throw some of that into our induction smelter. And let it cook up. There we go. Now we'll crap this into some gears. And we'll get our multi-servo press. I'll throw it down right over here. Now this slot here, this is for various casting dies. It doesn't look like the coin one is craftable, but you could also do gears and some other stuff. We're just looking for some plates, and it'll do that by default. Now again, we're going to need yet another new alloy. We could do these with hammers, but the hammer takes durability. So what this is, it's for every 4 aluminum, it's 3 tin, a silver, and 2 glowstone. And we can see the recipe directly right here. So we will first cook all of this up. Okay, here's our aluminum. I'll throw it right in here. Now, these do take nickel gears, and we don't even have enough nickel to make 8 nickel gears. So we're gonna, you see the plates, we're gonna leave that be for the time being. And we are going to look at a drill because we need the resources, and I'm here to tell you I'm tired of digging for it. And the drill head, does it, oh, is there not a use anymore? Oh, we can make a drill head, but it doesn't look like there's a flux bore. There is a flux saw, but it doesn't look like we're gonna get the flux bore. Okay. Back from mining, I went mining for a long time. I have some more ore. We gotta start getting better yields from them. So that's actually the next thing we're gonna work on. Where are we gonna get osmium dust? Can I get it from a crusher? Yes, okay. They don't seem completely compatible in the different mods. Alright, we'll get a little osmium dust, and we're also gonna need our infused alloys. We're gonna start with, right now we can basically double our ore. Do a little bit better with copper, but we can do much better than that. And the first step is going to be a little ore tripling. And it all starts with the electrolytic separator. Now, once you've made the core, it's not too hard to make the rest of it. We're going to pop this down right here. What the electrolytic separator does is it will, for instance, separate water into its component elements of oxygen and hydrogen. Well, you know, Mekanism has these this stuff. Okay, an input. It can input from the top. At some point, I made another sink. Here it is. Now we'll need our configurator again. I don't know if we can get this up here. Yeah. Now the sink is an infinite water source, and this thing's going to be dedicated to water. We want to change each of these sides to dump the excess, because right now we only have a use for the oxygen. We don't really have a use for the hydrogen. Now if we go over here to the gases, we can see it's, you know, blue and cyan. That's where we want it. We're going to want oxygen going this way. And we're going to want to have a buffer for it. Now it's going to take a... Oh, okay, these are all collapsed. Wonderful. It doesn't show an entry for every possible gas for the chemical tank. Okay. I believe that we can insert directly into the tanks. Should just get a stack of redstone. We're going to use it. We'll make it's osmium, not steel. We'll probably need the steel though. Alright. Here we go. One basic chemical tank. Now the tanks have a GUI. Okay, yeah, and you can deposit directly into them. We're going to make this a none, and we're going to make this an output. I don't know if we can eject directly out of them, but we're going to try. What we're going to do with the oxygen is we're going to put it into a purification chamber. We will need an enrichment chamber to craft this. So let's see, what was that? Alright, little redstone, a little bit of this, and we're going to need more of these. I hope we don't run out of iron before we get this set up, because I would really like to double the iron. Okay, we need 2 more. Or triple the iron, is what I'm trying to say. Alright. Here's our enrichment chamber. And then we'll need, these might be the first advanced control circuits we've made, but you make them just like that with materials we've already seen. And we'll come over here for a few more advanced alloys. I think that was what it was looking for. Yeah, 1 purification chamber. Pop that right there. Okay, yeah, and it'll accept the oxygen. We don't need to go mad with pipes here. So this is where we're going to feed our ore into. And it's going to combine with the oxygen. And it's going to go ahead and I hope make us 3 iron clumps, which we then want to run through a crusher, which we just so happen to have. Alright? Now all we have to do is set this thing with the auto eject. And by default it likes to process left to right. You can of course change that. This'll turn the clumps into dust. And then if we were to run the dust through an enrichment chamber, dirty dust, set this to eject. This will turn it into clean dust, which we can then smelled up into iron. What a coincidence, we have a redstone furnace right here. Let's go ahead and put this right next door. We're going to set this thing to input from over here. Dump right in, output underneath. We have some chests left over from the old setup that we can use, you know, where we had it outside. Pop it right down there. Oh, we're going to need a barrel, aren't we? Okay, we're all set up. We just put our ores in here. They'll process through here, and we'll be styling. Now, Mekanism doesn't stop here. There's actually 2 more tiers of processing we could add. We don't have room down here. We'll be doing that outside in its own structure eventually. We'll move this out there. Just like there are 2 ways to upgrade thermal machines with the integral components and the augments, there are 2 ways to upgrade Mekanism machines, one of which is these tier installers, and there are 4 of these. What these allow you to do is upgrade the machine without having to go anywhere. There's 2 ways you can do it. You can physically, kind of click it in there, or well, maybe you can't. You can shift click them on there, and now it's a basic purifying factory instead of a purification chamber. The main advantage to this is it now has 3 slots with which it can process. This auto sort, what that does, I'll be able to show it better over here. It'll automatically, if we got 3 going in here, it'll put it over here, so the throughput is triple what it is with just the unupgraded, and you can upgrade it to 5, 7, and 9 all at once. This thing's pretty fast, and we can upgrade it too. There is also, of course, the furnace from Mekanism that you can make, which we probably will when we take all this outside. And it does like these things are not like the thermal blocks in that they won't take items out of a vanilla chest or similar automatically, so we'll have to set up one of these. There we go. Awesome. Now we're in better shape with our resources. We're going to go back to Industrial Foregoing. Now we made these, what do you call them? These fluid extractors to get ourselves, and stripped is not the best for this, but I happen to have some stripped right on me, to get some of this latex. We are going to need to process this stuff in, let's see. Well, we can put it right into a dissolution chamber. See, this has changed a little bit. It used to be all this stuff with plastic that you needed, and I'm not even sure that's all true anymore. We're gonna try to figure it out. We're gonna start with an animal. Okay, yeah, so we do still need the plastic. We get the tiny dry rubber, okay, from, yeah, latex processing unit. I wonder why I wasn't seeing that. Well, anyway, we can get ourselves a bucket of latex to craft it with right here. And we now have an infinite water source down here, which is nice. And besides the bucket of latex, it's all stuff we've seen before. Now, I am going to, well, I guess I'll just pop it right here for the time being. We will need water for this thing, though, so maybe that's just a lie. Now, we could get behind it here, right? And we could get power and water. Alright, let's get this out of here. Now we'll just need another one of our pipes. I think we can pipe into this pretty much anywhere. Let's see, could we put the fluid tank right there? Yes, we could. configurator. There we go. That's drained it, which is delightful. So we were starting to get the tiny dry rubber. And I think you smelt that directly now. There's no additional step of having to craft the tiny into rubber, I don't think. Let's make sure that nope. Okay. This looks like it's the old way. Maybe it's 1.20 that the changes are in. We're playing 1.19. So just like old times, we take our tiny dry rubber, craft it into some dry rubber, smelt it up. This won't take long. There we go. And this should get us our plastic. Now thing one is going to be an animal feeder. It's just one of these pity machine frames, iron gears, some vanilla resources, and the plastic. As you might expect, when you give it water and something to feed an animal with, you will go ahead and get a baby. Now all we're going to do, we're going to have some automatic animal farming out here. There we go, we want that side facing that way. We're going to need a crafting table out here. That's fine, I guess. Alright. Think about how this is going to go. Next block on the menu. We're going to want 2 animal baby separators. And they will both move babies and adults, depending on how you set them. And I think the final thing we want, is it this one? It's gotta be the mob slaughter factory. Think we have everything? We do not. We need 1 gold gear, which I didn't even get the gold. There we go. That's gonna, we're basically building a good old-fashioned turn the barnyard animals into pink slime factory. Now these blocks are great, but they'll only operate by default in a 1x1 area in front of themselves. We're going to need to make some upgrades for them. And to do that, we're going to want something called a dissolution chamber. So we'll just need to make ourselves a diamond gear. And then, machine frames and a chest and some more stuff we've seen before. Now, what the dissolution chamber does, it does a couple of things. And we will be automating this and all the rest of this relatively soon. What we're looking for is a range upgrade from Industrial 4 Go. Yeah, this is the one. So by default, like I said, these machines operate in just 1 block in front of them. The range upgrades increase that. A range of +1 does not make it 2x2, however. It makes it 3x3. And a range tier of +2 makes it 5x5 and 7x7 and 9x9 and so on. You can get quite large working areas. What we want are 4 of these range tier 2 upgrades. Each one of these is going to take a bucket of latex, and we're processing it over here. While all that's collecting, might as well put these down. This one we want to move babies. And we're going to put another one over here. Here's the gates. To move adults. Just click the thing. A little button there. And then we're going to have our mob slaughter factory right here. And you'll see what I'm talking about if we show the working area. You can see it's 1 block. So we definitely want to expand that. Now you may have noticed while we were looking at the machines is that they used power. And our lead supply, is that not how you do this? Our lead supply is perhaps not what it could be. It's one of the things we're trying to fix. Basic universe, okay, so it's just redstone, it's not the alloy. I misremembered. So instead of doing the flux ducts, that's a hard word to say, we're going to use these very basic mechanism cables, because while they do need power, those machines, they're not like power hogs. Now we probably will need some of these though, because we're also going to make a mechanism energy cube. Now it's all stuff we've seen before. We will need 2 of these energy tablets. Let's get some more redstone. And we'll need some iron. And we can upgrade these quite a bit, but again, the energy demand of this system is not too high. So 1.6 million should be more than enough. Now, there is the question of how we're going to power it. Like I said, it doesn't use too much. I would like to first try the small solar panels from Engineer's Decor, because these aren't nothing, I'm here to tell you. Engineer's Decor is an underrated mod, and I was very glad to see it in the pack. We will need some of these metal bars, kind of the foundational ingredient. There we go. Let's take it outside. Now we have the juice to make 2 of these range upgrades just right this second. You will see, you cannot click in here from JI. Also, you can't put more than one thing into a stack, so keep all that in mind. You can, however, automate this with mods like, refined storage, applied energistics. We'll certainly be getting into that. Now, 1 away ought to be plenty here. We'll just pop this down. Pop this right on top of it. And set this. That's an input. Okay, it's definitely generating power. We may need to have it on a cable for it to transfer the power into the mechanism block. That seems to be a theme with attaching things to mechanism blocks. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So, not a huge amount of power, but it should be enough. And it doesn't matter what order you put the things in. It'll recognize the valid recipe no matter how you have the 8 things on the outside mixed up. Now what we're going to do, we're going to show the working area again. You can see the 1 block that it's going to feed in. But if we put this range tier 2 in, now we can see it covers the whole 5x5 area. And we can pipe into this. We'll just put some in manually for now, some feed, and it'll do it. And then we can come over here to our animal baby separator. When we start getting some babies, it's gonna suck them in right over here. Now, while the latex is processing, I've been looking at making the house a little more comfortable. I checked out the green sofas from Adorn. They're pretty cheap and they look really good. The Mr. Crayfish sofas are a little more expensive. You only get 2, but they have this really nice, that looks like an old school couch with it's just, you can just barely see the feet. These have a nice bold wooden bottom to it. It's like a little more futon-y. I really like them both. And then we're gonna add some coffee tables. I like the stripped dark oak from Mr. Crayfish. So we got some place to put our drinks down and whatnot. Now, if you find yourself waiting too long for latex, be aware that acacia, if we use it in the fluid extractor, does 4 millibuckets per per work, whereas a lot of them do 2, 3, 1. Acacia is where it's at for latex. Another nice block from Adorn are these dark oak tables. They're real cheap, and they look good on their own. They also have a nice connected texture, so a little rustic looking. I like them. Adorn also has lamps, and we need these guys. Stone rods to make them. And from there, we can make stone torches, which I imagine we can place down just like it's a torch. But then we could take, let's see, we have any, well, we have white carpet, we have yellow carpet. Alright, we'll go with purple. We will go ahead, and it's just one carpet per lamp. Let's see how these look. If we were to put one right, okay. Now what happens with two? Can we place them on top? Oh, we can place them on the wall. Okay. They don't have like a connected texture that will allow you to stack them higher. But, you know, a little bit of light. Better than torches around, right? Okay, no animals grown up yet. You can see you get a good amount of them. It breeds them pretty much as fast as it can. We'll throw, well, we don't need two of them in there. But we'll throw one in each block. And then as these animals eventually grow up, which I thought they would have by now, you can get a little experience just hanging out here too. We may have to find a way to collect that. But they will grow up, and the animal babies separate. We'll zotch them over here, and this thing will turn them into liquid meat and pink slime. Well, we missed it happening, but we got our stuff. That's okay. It's gonna keep happening. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and set this to output. Okay, we got the meat in there. We got the slime in the pipe. Put this right over here. We got the slime over here. Very, very good. Now, for what we're going to do with it, we're actually going to need some more netherite scrap. So I'm going back to the nether mines, and we will pick up where we left off next time. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.